Hello and welcome. My name is Siobhan McSweeney and today I will be discussing the value of music education and its role in the development of children's emotional regulation. So first off, to define emotional regulation, Bertoldo in 2020 illustrates the importance of children's emotional regulation skills and its role in facilitating the child to sit, to pay attention and to listen for learning and to control impulses that may otherwise be deemed socially inappropriate. So for example, physically lashing out if a toy is snatched away. This presentation focuses on illuminating the importance of emotional development in young children and suggesting strategies which can be useful to educators in their efforts of achieving this. So such strategies include the clever use of a context, for example, when teaching, incorporating other subject areas and integrating other subject areas into music, and incorporating music into transitions between lessons, for example. So ultimately, I hope this presentation will provide a useful tool in which educators can refer to as they endeavour to increase a child's skills of emotional regulation. So Rusu, Hallam, Torras Vila and Belapurkar are just some examples of researchers whose work has been drawn on to inform this work. And throughout this presentation, I will discuss the value of music education and its role in the development of children's emotional regulation under the following headings. So the first heading is language learning. The second heading is cultivating positive attitudes towards the subject. The third area is the socialization of the child, and the final area, which I will discuss, is the potential that the subject holds for integration with other areas of the curriculum. So thank you for listening in advance, and I hope you enjoy. So here we will discuss language learning and the benefits of music when facilitating children in acquiring a new language. So with over 200 languages now spoken in Ireland according to the primary language curriculum in 2019, it's now apparent more than ever that it's really essential that we as teachers use effective methodologies to facilitate children in learning languages. So the subject of music provides a very engaging context by which such learning can take place. Most probably obviously we allow children to listen to songs in a foreign language. So this activity implicitly allows children to develop connections and build mental schemas. So this is in line with Vygotsky's theory of psychological development, in which he discusses how children organise their thoughts and organise their learning. So this activity also increases the child's familiarity with the rhythm of a language, and this has a very positive impact on their oral and speaking capabilities in particular language. So Torras Vila is a very respected researcher in this area, and her research was focused mainly on the educational setting of Catalonia. However, I do believe her research can be transferred to educational contexts worldwide, and she insists that even the most uncomplicated activity in the English as a foreign language or the EFL classroom can take advantage of music. Expressive activities through movement or even through drawing or writing with background music can already even boost students' language learning capabilities. So this is very interesting. Dorn 2013 echoes this, saying that children who grow up listening to music develop strong music-related connections that in turn strengthen their language skills. And this is very apparent when you enter a classroom and you see children who have more experience with music than others, and their language will be, they'd be more confident in their speaking language and their language will be more advanced. Okay, so here we'll discuss how teachers can use music as a tool to promote positive attitudes, not only towards the subject of music, but also towards other subject areas within the curriculum. So music in general is quite a popular subject amongst most students, with generally only kind of a handful of students in each class requiring additional persuasion to take part. So Hallam in 2010, interestingly, undertook empirical research which illustrated the direct correlation between music and active engagement amongst children. And Rob in 2003 noticed that music may help children with visual impairments increase attentive behaviour by soliciting optimal levels of arousal. This highlights the accessibility of music, the accessibility of the subject of music, and the potential it holds to encourage participation and facilitate success for all. The responsibility ultimately lies with the teacher in retaining the subject's popularity and ensuring children maintain positive attitudes towards the subject. So the subject really almost demands active engagement from the children. So it involves children participating and immersing themselves fully in the content and activities, and this active engagement is really, really essential. Throughout lessons, children are encouraged to discuss their preferences and share their opinions, and teachers really need to pay a lot of attention to establishing a particular environment which facilitates such discussion and facilitates such unbiased responses from children, in which children feel as though their opinion is valued and their opinion is unjudged and considered and acknowledged really in the environment. So following this, both teachers and students can enjoy the benefits of active engagement among their classroom. So this really helps in developing positive attitudes towards the subject of music. But this environment which is created really does impact positively on every area of the curriculum. Okay, so here we will discuss the benefits and the educational value of music with regards to the socialization of the child and really the emotional development of a child. Rusu in 2017 insists that emotions are elements of social control which play an essential role in the socialization process of children. The school identifies as a social institution and describes itself as an institution through which society's children are taught basic academic knowledge, learning skills and cultural norms. I therefore believe that music proves a very fitting subject to support the development of such emotions and support the socialization of the child. Music therapy is a very, very effective method to achieve such. The Health Service Executive of Ireland 2022 described music therapy as the expressive elements of music as the main way of interaction between you and your therapist, and provides an encouraging environment where you can improve your social skills, motivation and self-esteem. So as educators, music therapy is always a benefit to your classroom. It provides another means of communication which is not language and grammar dependent. So for example, a non-verbal child in your classroom would really, really benefit from music therapy. So music helps to create and manipulate moods, and we know this. And with these mood changes become psychological changes in our heartbeats, our blood pressure, or in our breathing, for example, according to Belapurkar. So incorporating music therapy within classrooms promotes the learning of academic concepts and provides avenues for communication, as mentioned before. It even improves motor skills amongst children and encourages the exploration and examination of issues that impact the life of the students. This is according to the American Music Therapy Foundation. So really, we do need to, as educators, draw on music therapy a little bit more. It has benefits for every student in your classroom, especially those students with additional needs. Okay, so here we'll finally discuss the potential which music as a subject holds for integration with other subject areas. So from children developing, for example, recital musical instruments, which promotes geographical and environmental learning, to children undertaking musical therapy, which promotes emotional regulation, which we just spoke about previously, the subject is really ripe for the opportunity for integration. So a common theme which permeates most curricula worldwide involves the use of context, and music is no different. So using contexts which are engaging and appropriate for children are really, really useful in increasing their learning opportunities. So the MOVIC movement, which is the Movement in Music and English programme, involves methodologies such as game-based learning, storytelling, total physical response, and communicative language teaching, among others. These methodologies prove really, really engaging for children, and they're also really familiar to teachers, which makes them easier to implement. When you think of music, you think of really numeracy and literacy. So Hallam in 2010 in her research highlighted how the notation followed in music really, really closely aligns with that followed in mathematics. So to be successful in mathematics, you need to be familiar with the numbers. Likewise in music. So using rhymes, for example, in mathematical lessons to memorize facts. Likewise in literacy lessons, poems in English can assist in recounting a story, for example. The Institute for Multisensory Education provides research that encourages the use of poetry and highlights the benefits in developing phonological skills, children's phonological skills. So Torras Vila, another researcher in 2021, in her research repeats the benefits of integration, especially, and pays special reference to the benefits for foreign language learning. Using music as a transitioning technique between subjects and between lessons throughout the day also proves really, really engaging for children. Early childhood professionals commonly mention the use of music to structure their time, and this becomes very, very beneficial, especially for children with additional needs who enjoy the predictability of each day So when they hear a particular song, they know it's coming up to lunchtime, or they know it's coming up to maths time, for example. So this is especially appreciated by these students.